on to Friday's edition of Delta Flagship Program Morning Ride. It's now time for our next spot, which is the newspaper headline segment. This is where we get to read headlines coming from different newspapers, and then we try to analyze some of the issues making round from these newspapers. Well, we'll begin with the Daily Sun newspaper. The Daily Sun newspaper. Well, these are the headlines coming from the Daily Sun newspaper. It says, as INEC reverses timetable, 2027 election now holds January 16 and February 6. As INEC reverses timetable, 2027 election now holds January 16 and February 6. Party primaries begin April 23, end May 30. Campaign to start. Presidential and NAS, August 19. Governorship and House, September 19, 2026. Now at the top strip of the Daily Sun newspaper, it says, assassination attempt on Obi, APC absolves self, blames ADC. We have evidence of airfare manipulation by domestic airlines. This is coming from FCCPC. And at the bottom strip, it says, 2027, I'll not leave PDP. This is coming from Makinde as he vows. We'll focus on competence, good governance, shun personal loyalty, says Governor. Supreme Court's focus is to strengthen public confidence in administration of justice. This is coming from the CJN. Opposition parties reject amended Electoral Act, insist on real-time transmission of election results. Tinubu denies killing opposition parties. And lastly, alleged certificate forgery. Hearing in ex-minister's suit against UNN and others stalled.
The Nigerian Tribune is next for review. The screaming story on the Nigerian Tribune says presidential election to hold January 16, 2027, governorship February 6. You can find the details on page 2. The writer to that story says conduct of party primaries to commence on April 23. Presidential NAS campaigns to commence August 19. Osun governor poll to hold August 15 this year. NBC moves to resolve Edo-Kogi interstate boundary disputes. Details on page 3. ADC NNPP rejects new electoral act. FCCPC establishes cases of price fixing by local airlines. The writer says to probe foreign carriers next. Details on page 11. EFCC operative testifies virtually in UK trial of Diziani. Page 3. On page 12, NEPC warns 50% post-harvest losses threaten Nigerians' export drive. And on health, new device detects infectious tuberculosis directly in the air. This according to scientists. Details on page 30. And that's it on the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, moving to the Vanguard newspapers this morning. It says 2027, Atiku, Obi, Amechi, Mark, Galadima, and others reject electoral law. INEC moves 2027 polls to January 16. Osun Guba holds August 15, 2026. And there is a picture speaks of Ogiame Atuwashe III, the Olu of Warri, thanking Her Excellency Senator Remi Tinubu for gracing her ancestral homeland. Well, that's it on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, our next paper for review is, let's see. Okay, the Punch newspaper, the screaming story on the Punch says, Electoral Act, Senate rejects fresh amendments are pushed back. Rider says opposition accuses APC of plotting against e-transmission of 2027 poll results. Demand Electoral Act Okay, Electoral Act Review. Presidency kicks. Bandits kill 39, abduct many in fresh attacks. Details on page 7. Page 20. Senate panel orders probe after inspecting burnt Lagos Airport terminal. FCCPC probes fare fixing by local airlines. Over 200 men wielding AK-47s stormed Yelwata. This is according to police witness. Details on page 8. INEC fixes January 16 for 2027 presidential poll. And that's it on the Punch.
All right, the Guardian newspaper is next with these headlines. Federal government insists on state police awaits legislative backing. Senate faults zero capital demands accountability as ministers defend fiscal reforms. Report, terrorist attacks on Nigerian, Benin, and Niger border rose by 262% in 2025. INEC ignores Electoral Act protest, shifts 2027 elections for Ramadan. Over 100 terrorists stormed Benue villages, killed 150, witness tells court. 2027 polls, Yoruba Ronu withdraws support for APC and backs PDP. Commission documents 700,000 out of school children. Federal government deepens credit call, targets wider coverage and disbursement. Bauchi government says 10,000 well-armed bandits attacking communities. Constitution amendment delay fuels anxiety ahead of 2027. Lastly, looking at the Guardian newspaper this morning, it says distillers barricade NAFDAC Lagos office over alcohol sachet ban.
The Daily Independent is next. Restore trust in police, Tinubu tells new IGP. And that's the screaming story on the Daily Independent. Writer says, era of impunity, abuse of human rights over. And this according to the new IGP, Disu. YNRS is eyeing 40.7 trillion naira revenue for 2020 by Adedeji. On page 4, NAS reads Riot Act to Edu NDA heads. Bleeding. Nigeria loses $4.5 billion widen. APC sets stage for 2026 convention, raises planning committee. And we have Benin attack, APC proving to be terrorist organization. And this according to the ADC. And I think, okay, yes, that's because of the attack on Peter Obi. Gunmen attack church in Ondo, abduct 6 worshippers. Broadband expansion drives telecom subscription to 179 million. And finally, FG poised to tackle state's industrial challenges, says Shetima.
Well, looking at the New Telegraph newspaper this morning, it says budget. Hope rises as Nigerian crude oil price rises above 2026 benchmark. 1.15 trillion naira earned from January gas export. Exploitative airfares. FCCPC plans foreign airlines probe. Still looking at the New Telegraph newspaper, it says INEC alters election timetable, fixes presidential poll for January 16, 2027. Gubar, State Houses of Assembly polls to hold February 6, 2027. Electoral Act, APC pushing Nigeria to the precipice. Opposition parties demand amendment to Electoral Act 2026. Collapse of democracy in Nigeria, dangerous to Africa. This is coming from Atiko. And ADC, we are ready for Oshun and Ekiti Guba polls. Well, still looking at the New Telegraph newspaper, it says Dangote petition, ICPC digs in, makes startling discoveries. Law enforcement agencies yet to consolidate cases against El Rufai. And lastly, this one here says, study links prenatal cannabis exposure to schizophrenia.
Right, the nation is next for review. Presidential election holds January 16, governorship February 6. Electoral Act 2026, presidency APC firebacks as ADC and NPP kick. First Lady a blessing to Nigerians, says Oborewori. Edo assures of improvement in payment system. Unions intensify protests at NAFDAC office over ban of sachet alcohol. Face FCCPC sanctions for arbitrary pricing. That's it on the Nation newspaper.
The Daily Trust is next with these headlines. Bag of cement climbs to 11,000 naira. Sharia Council to US. You can't stop Sharia in Nigeria. Governor Inuwa Yahaya commissions and inspects project in Kwami and Duku local government areas. Opposition rejects amended electoral act. INEC shifts presidential election to January 16, 2027. Terrorists killed 22 in Kebbi and Adamawa. Schoolmates celebrate Walida's release. And IPI urges new IGP to protect press freedom and harassment for journalists. Well, that's it on the Daily Trust newspapers. We'll now head back to the studio where I and Lilibeth will be analyst for today. Yes, analyst. Lilibeth, there's been lots of will I say issues, national issues. Well, let's begin with the one we've talked about before, talking about the elections, you know, INEC reversing the election timetable 2027. For 2027, they're saying election now holds January 16 and February 6. Party primaries begin April 23, end May 30. Campaign to start August for presidential and NAS, August 19, and governorship and House, September 19 this year, against, you know, the preparation for what's to come in January. So how do you feel about the reversal of this timetable?
Well, they know why it's been reversed.
Do you think it will affect Nigerians in any way?
It's not going to affect Nigerians. You already know who you're going to vote.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, that the campaign, the full majority of people or parties campaigning. But for now, I think parties are set. They've done their own, or rather, they're doing their underwork. So I just believe that parties are set.
You said,
and they're going to kick off.
Okay.
On the official dates that INEC gave.
You said something that people know who they already want to vote.
Of course.
Don't you think that time also affects the choices we make when it comes to who we want to vote?
What will the person that you're going to vote, or you're going to change your votes for, what will the person, or what could the person possibly do within the short period of time to buy your heart?
It's a lot.
A lot to buy your heart.
Okay.
But I just feel, I don't, you see, when we take such decisions, okay, about leadership, you need to look at the long term. You need to look at where the person has been coming from. It's not just something you do within a short period of time that will determine that, yes, you're a good leader or you can actually lead. They have to see your record. What have you done in the past? Yes. What have you done in the past? That's why I said it is not enough time to buy somebody's heart. Because it's really a short period to want to change your heart. So people already know who they want to vote. See, I know some persons, someone said, oh, if they're going to give you money, collect the money, but vote your conscience.
Do at the end of the
day.
Mm-hmm.
So most people are actually running after a particular party because of what they will get, not because, oh, that person is their principal.
So personal interest too is playing a role in all of this. Okay.
So that's why I said, yes, people already know who they want to vote. They're just waiting for the D-Day.
Well, away from this political brouhaha we've been seeing, there's one thing that is an anomaly that is becoming a norm. And then I saw quite a few headlines from some newspapers. It's bordering on security. I think in Benue State, about 150 people were rendered lifeless. And then in Adamawa and another northern state, over 22 people were killed. Now, we had scores last year of people killed almost on a daily, and this anomaly we're seeming to be like the new abnormal normal that we were getting used to, even though it was telling on our mental health as Nigerians. It even graduated from ordinary citizens to the clergymen and clergywomen. We hear that priests, pastors were kidnapped and rendered lifeless, their bodies abandoned at a particular place, to medical practitioners, to children. Imagine schools were stormed and children were kidnapped in their numbers in broad daylight.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I think part of these culminated in Nigeria being relegated to a country of particular concern. Well, looking at all of these anomalies as regards our safety and security, do you really think, if not 100%, because some people may end up saying, safety and security is not something that can be attained 100%, because even in the so-called developed nations, they don't have it 100%. But if not 100%, to a very, very large extent, can we really say that we will get to that point where every Nigerian is safe? That I can travel to this point, to the other, and those at home that have watched me go and those that are expecting me are not kabashing because of the security issues in the country. Can we ever get to that point where it will be that safe, Lilibeth?
Yeah, before I answer that question now, you said some persons say, oh, in other climes,
other climes, yes.
Yes, that worked again. I didn't really get
that. Probably we had they are safe and all of that,
safe.
but it's never 100% even at that point. So I'm asking that, in as much as we may not get the safety 100%, can we be safe? Can we say we are safe to a large extent? Because before, during the time of our parents, they could stand up and just go out without telling anybody where they are going to. But right now, an adult, you need to tell someone, I am going to this place, I am going to that place. Even though you don't want to be specific, at least there must be someone around you that you even send your location to. It is that bad at this point.
Yeah, Nigeria is unpredictable. So for you to say, oh, are we going to see this change? It is something that I cannot sit here and give you a correct answer. Because personally, I have no clue to that.
Very disheartening.
I have no clue to that. We only pray that Nigeria gets better. But with happenings around, one will begin to think, can Nigeria, that's where your question comes in.
Yes.
Can Nigeria ever
get
be
better?
Now, what are our leaders doing? What are our leaders doing? It really boils down to our leaders. Now, they say, oh, protect yourself, protect yourself. How would you protect yourself when the top, the head, the cap is not even giving you an opportunity or a platform for you to protect yourself? And how do you protect yourself from heavily armed men? One question is, these sophisticated weapons that they carry, how did they get it? And you begin to think these are weapons that only the military should have access to. Now, how did they get it? That's another question. Because when we say, oh, our leaders, you begin to ask, are our leaders even trying to help us?
Or not?
Are they trying to help us? Are they seeing the cry? Are they hearing the cry of the people? Now, even to boats, even to transports, rather, in-house transport, you send your location,
yes,
or the cab's
location,
what's it called, the plate number, to your friends, because even in that vehicle you're not safe.
You don't feel safe.
That's why I am saying, if this state policing can actually start, if they can actually get it over and it should just start if they can do that. Maybe we'll get an atom of peace in the country. Yes. And I think somebody talked about the local vigilantes. If they are well equipped, because I will not lie, those people are trying. Yes, they are trying. In as much as, yeah, there are some bad eggs, but you know, everywhere you go, majority, you will see bad eggs in every area, every sector. There must be one bad egg. But the 99 that are good, how well are they equipped? We need to equip them. The forest police, we need to equip them. Because you don't send them there to go fight these elements barehanded. So a lot. We just have to go back to the board. We have to go back and see where we are missing, because we are missing it. It's not about, oh, bring this, bring state police, even if you bring state police, are you giving them weapons? Are you guarding them up to fight what is ahead of them? So, Perpetua, I don't know, I don't know, but I am praying alongside other Nigerians and hoping that Nigeria gets better. Now, other clans, we don't hear of kidnappings. We barely hear of kidnappings. We can only hear of sporadic shooting. But we don't hear of kidnappings. We don't hear that, oh, one
and
village,
it's not even
or
regular.
people went to church and they go there and kidnap, or they kill people. We've not heard that. Now look at the Owo church attack.
Oh,
that
don't
happened.
remind me.
How many, was it last year, early last year or thereabouts?
Don't remind me. So
and
disheartening.
till now, they are still bringing out. Yesterday, I read on the papers that the 6th suspect of the Owo attack has been arrested. 6th suspect.
After how many?
After how many? So you see, the loopholes are just too much. We need gadgets. You know, I don't know. In other clans, you see, even on the streets, the moment something happens, the next minute they are picking that person.
Because there's a camera.
Yes.
Camera
So why can't we get there? Why can't we get there? Why can't we do that? Who is holding that from happening? Who is bidding? Who is sitting on it from happening? So there is a lot. There's just a lot to do.
Oh.
Yes. I wish I could make IG of police. Really
Well, you've done the analysis. I'm telling you, like you said, there is a lot to be done. But in all seriousness, it's quite disheartening that even at this point, when we close our eyes to sleep, we don't completely close our eyes to sleep. We sleep with one eye closed and the other open because of the security issue in the country. But we pray that it is resolved, because if a country is functioning optimally, you know, not having the anomaly of insecurity, more development can come to that country. The country can thrive, can grow, can develop, and, you know, her citizens can also thrive and grow and develop. Well, on your end, Elizabeth, is there any burden newspaper headline trend you want us to look at?
I was okay. You know, this talk actually it actually got the better part of me, because
it did. Security is everyone's business.
Yes,
actually.
yes. Yesterday I came across a clip where a clergyman, I think that should be in, could it be maybe either Benue? I think Benue State. You know, where they brought out bodies of Ibud men. They were massacred. You could see some brains were out, some chest, the mouth was cut off. Like, how do you go cutting off someone's mouth? Like,
gory
I don't
images,
get.
yeah.
So,
not just killing them, but dehumanizing them in the
yes,
process.
see. Okay, speaking of insecurity now,
Right.
now let's look at the assassination attempt on Obi. Now, we don't know if Obi is actually going to run for presidency or not.
So now they've graduated to politicians.
He just went to Edo, you know, to their party house, and then he was shot at. We saw the vehicles. We saw how it was damaged. So what would you call that? Like, is that where broad daylight? This now is a broad daylight. Is that where we have generated, or we have graduated to? to attack
A politician.
politicians going on their own duty. Like, I don't get.
Well,
And what is the governor doing about it? Are they trying to say that they don't know the persons behind that attack? Because one of the stories, I don't even want to go there.
It's
but
a lot.
It's a lot.
our leaders need to go back to the drawing board and see how to nip this anomaly in the bud, because it's like fast eating into the bones and marrows of the society. It's eating deep, and it's affecting different aspects. Like I said earlier, if a society is not properly functioning optimally, development will not come, investment will not come. So the earlier it is nipped in the bud and everybody is safe, the better. You remember the time of our parents where our dad would just stand up and say, I'm coming, and nobody is asking, where are you going? At this point, if your dad says, I'm coming, where are you going?
Give us a number
Not
of the
because
person.
you are nosy, but because above everything else, you are interested in his safety. Give us the number of the person you are going to see. Whose house? Where is he located? You become an investigator overnight. It's a lot.
Well, we join our hands together to pray for Nigeria.
Right.
And thank God the Ramadan fast and
The Lenten period.
Lenten period
Started same day.
Same day. So
Yes.
that's a sign. According to First Lady, she said that's a sign.
That's a sign. Peace is coming.
Yes, we peace.
Yeah.
So that's it on papers.
Okay, so that's what we have on the trending issues on newspapers this morning. Well, do well to go out there to get copies of these newspapers, or log on to the website to read stories coming from these newspapers, so you have an idea of what's happening in your immediate and extended environment. Well, it's still Friday's edition of Morning Ride. We'll take a quick breather, and it will be time for our next sport, our interview segment. Do stay. Alright, you're still on to Friday's edition of Morning Ride, and we are in, the last spot for today's edition of Morning Ride, talking about our interview segment. Now, Delta State has made strides in grassroots healthcare delivery and facility upgrade, also involving digital tools and facility upgrades, like I said earlier, and monitoring efforts under Governor Oborewori's More agenda. Now, the executive assistant on health monitoring oversees all of these compliance and access expansion, most especially at primary health care centers. Now, he will be here to do justice, or he is here to do justice on the topic expanding medical access at grassroots in Delta State. I'm talking about no other than the Executive Assistant to the Governor on Health Monitoring, Dr. Awuno Alexander Chidubem. Good morning, Doctor.
Yeah, good morning.
Good to have you.
Happy to be here.
Good morning.
Thank you so much.
All right, so can you please give us a brief rundown on the activities that are taking place under your custody as the Executive Assistant to the Governor on Health Monitoring right here in Delta State?
Okay, thank you very much. So, the Office of the Executive Assistant on Health Monitoring is leading with the responsibilities of supervising and monitoring health facilities, vis-a-vis how these facilities attend to our people, the welfare of our people, and also making sure that these hospitals and any health facility comply to at least the minimum standard that is acceptable. So we have gone around and visited some facilities that have actually been operating in substandard ways, cutting corners, doing things that don't typify the mandates and the interest of His Excellency. If you look through, I think as of today, I am the only executive assistant to the Governor on Health, and it means that he specifically made that appointment because of these issues, because we have had serious issues of mismanagement of patients. I think when he came in, I remember then a relative of his was mismanaged in one hospital in Kwale, and which necessitated the compulsory registration of all hospitals in Delta State, and those who were not able to register, who were found to be, not registered, were shut down. So our activities have actually been focused on these aspects. We go around whenever we have any complaint, because we have a help line that we have launched. We launched about around 8 months ago. So patients have these numbers. So we also advertise them so to people to call in when you have any issue of mismanagement. You feel that you were not treated right. You feel that the hospital where you, or the facility where you went to, did not do the right thing. We are doctors, so we actually know what it entails when you are maltreated. So we'll be able to wade in. Just recently, we had a patient who called in. I think that was last weeks, about 2-3 weeks ago. A very popular health diagnostic facility in Asaba here. We got a report, and it was a very basic, for the sake of the patient privacy, we wouldn't want to reveal the details and of the complaint, but it has to do with some personal issues. So we waded in and we got to the root of the matter, and the Honorable Commissioner for Health, attended to the matter, and some measures were put in place to make sure that such doesn't happen again. If it gets to a very serious case, the facilities will be shut down. We shut down one at Udu local government when we saw a patient, a hospital being manned and controlled by a non-doctor. We heard that she's a biochemist, and at the end, she didn't even go to school. She don't even have any certificate, and she was actually running a full-fledged, transfusing patients, selling blood. So when we got to know, we swung into action, went to Udu local government with the law enforcement agent to seal down the place, and the woman was charged to court, and the police got involved. And even to our greatest surprise, we also found out that she also had a baby factory there in the facility. Wow. So the whole thing was just complicated. So those are the things that we actually discover, and it's not magic. When you hear all these things on TV, they are not false, they happen. So we are, because of the enormous nature of the job, we actually narrowed our work to monitoring private, government, primary health care facilities. Well, we also do some forms of unscheduled visits. We just have our team, unscheduled visits, just bust into a facility, try to look at the nominal role, the doctors, the nurses, the staff of the hospital, those of them who are not at work. If they have any cogent reasons why they are not at work, we have to know. We have to get the list of those on leave, get to know why they are not at work, and at when they are supposed to be at work. If we have the list, all the hospitals in Delta State, we have the list and the number of doctors there. If they are not at work, we will know. So we ask. So all this nonchalant attitude is something that we need to control, because some persons feel that because it's government office and work, we can do anything. So these are basic mandates that we have.
Great. Okay. All right. So as EA to the governor on health monitoring, now, would you say that expanding medical access at the grassroots level, or let's say in Delta State, is all about just building clinics or building infrastructures, What about mobile clinics? Because I know in other clans we have mobile clinics now, but I've not heard any like that now, using vans or even motorbikes that are equipped with basic diagnostic tools to visit remote areas on a weekly basis. These areas that cannot even have access to the health facilities being built. So what about that? What's your take on that?
Thank you. Very good. I think I have to throw more light on that. Maybe also guide us so that we understand how these things work. You know, in the health sector, we have the ladder. We have the primary health centers. Primary health centers are those health facilities that are directly in our communities.
Yeah.
For instance, if you go to a community like Okpanam now, Ugbolu, you will see a primary health center. These are directly close, that are directly with the people. So when His Excellency, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborori, that was last year, he noticed this breach, and what he did was so marvelous. What he did was that he, assembled his team. The Honorable Commissioner for Health also was very, 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 important in the whole arrangement. And we had this renovation of over 160 primary health centers in the first phase. It has never happened in the history of this state before.
Okay.
So when I talk about the primary health centers, each local government had at least, let me say, 4, 5 to 10 primary health centers that were renovated to standard, from scratch to the where they are. And after doing this, he now went further to get some medical equipment such as ultrasound scan, around the standard ones, so around the 25 local government of the state. Then went further to get the latest Siemens brand CT scans, shared to Asaba specialists, shared to all the strategic hospitals in Delta, and not still ending there. He went further again to actually bring the MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. This is the highest level of diagnostic facility that you can get anywhere in the world, and he went for the best. And this thing actually drew from the fact that our patients, before now, when they want to do an MRI scan, they go as far as Benin. Some go to Lagos, Port Harcourt. But the governor said no, that this has to be in the state. And as I speak to you, we have them. So, talking about the primary health centers, go to a community, for instance, like Obonkpa or Idumogo, around that area. You see that these people have, when they have any issue, they run to their health center. Now they've been renovated with health facilities, domiciled there, and a standard facility, diagnostic kits, domiciled there. Not only renovation, after renovation, they equipped them with all these facilities. And these are things that this patient assess. Remember, we also have the free maternal and another 5. And all these people access this facility free of charge. Remember also, Delta State is the leading state in Nigeria now with the highest enrollees, over 2.7 million enrollees in the Delta State Contributory Health Insurance Scheme. Remember, most of these people who access this health insurance are from the rural areas, and most of these hospitals have been given this facility to be able to attend to this patient coming from this local area. Okay, all these rural areas, because that is where I also have my own. I have passion for going to rural communities, grassroots level. So I've also examined and seen that I've moved around and I've seen that these communities, they seasonally, once in a while, we have these medical outreaches that we go to. You have some people, foundations who are not even government agencies. They come around, they partner with government. The other day, the wife of the governor had some medical outreaches at Sapele and all those places. Just by first and second week of March, we also have one around this Anocha area. These are things that we do, monthly. To try to bridge areas where we have this lacuna. Let me also tell you that we have, as we speak, that was August last year. The state government launched, I think we shared that on our media handle, launched the ambulance services and shared the numbers. These are equipped, ambulance system that can respond. So when someone has any emergency, instead of running head-to-skater, call these numbers. We will share the numbers. I don't know. We'll share the numbers out so that people can have access to this. Even though it's online, if you Google, you go to Delta State Government Ambulance ID on TikTok and on Instagram, you'll see the posts and the numbers. They are all there. Facebook, they are all there. These are key areas where the government has actually invested in. The health sector is one of the best and one of the most important sector to His Excellency. And I can say this, that there's never been anything that the Excellency has been told about this health sector, anything that has the, that can improve the health sector, that he has refused. He always wants to improve and make the health sector number one. And
okay. So, Dr. Alex, in as much as, the government has done a lot with your beautiful office for the people of Deltans, Oliver Twist, we are always asking for more. Yes. Now, are there any plans underway? Because presently now, we know that for maternal and child is almost free, if not completely free right now in Delta State. So, are there any plans, probably outreach or health programs that are targeted for Deltans, specifically Deltans, where they can come and have like surgical outreaches, come and do like free surgeries, or the prices are mitigated to a very, very large extent, or they come to, check their health, their BPs and all of that, Is there anything like that that the government is planning or is underway at present?
Okay. With all these things that I talked about, with all the programs that are on ground in terms of subsidizing and making healthcare available and accessible to the rural communities, that's the grassroots. We on our own, being a lover of grassroots medical outreaches, yes. On my own, I've had, with my office, some medical missions. And on the March the 5th, then we have our political, this is a political season. Yes, we also have to talk about His Excellency as well. Yes. So his political group that we, myself as the chairman, and some of my friends who believe in the candidature of His Excellency. That was last time before his election. We had a group that came together to mobilize ourselves, and we had free medical missions around the state, 25 local governments. This year, we will call it the Sheriff Free Medicare Project for All Deltans 2.0. We started it again. So His Excellency will be at FMC on the March the 5th to flag off. And today, with all the information we've gotten, he's very elated about the program because we've seen him and we've discussed extensively, and he gave us his nod about the program. So, with all due respect, the Federal Medical Center, not being that it's a central hospital, yes. in Asaba, yes. and also have a very dynamic and very cooperative chief medical director, yes. we decided to have the flag off ceremony at the FMC. Okay. So on that day, His Excellency will flag it off, and that will now signal the commencement of the 2.0. What we will do is this: all the patients that we're going to be seeing in each of these 2 days, because this flag is going to be a 2-day program, 5th and the 6th of March. No patient is going to pay a dime. Just yesterday,
for all the health,
yes, it's being sponsored by this group of
including
people.
Surgeries.
Yes,
Dr. Alex.
Yes, they're going to be surgeries, and we have made arrangements.
Rachel, what are you thinking about?
We have made arrangements.
I'm elated. I'm excited.
Yes, it's very correct.
I'm happy.
Yes, we have made
arrangements
with the management of the hospital, and they have actually, we're working, together. And every patient is going to be seen on the March 5th and 6th. That day will be free of charge.
By what time?
The program, the flag off is by 10 a.m. And
okay.
the scope of the program, we're going to have vital signs check, we're going to have BP monitors and all those ones. We're going to have eye examination, dispensing of eye lenses, free of charge. We're going to have the physiotherapy will be there. We're going to have surgeries. We have herniorrhaphy. We have appendectomies. We can even hysterectomy, fibroid surgery, like the commonly said. We'll do that.
It's going to be a very big
But
project.
in addendum with what you're saying now, looking at the population we have currently in Delta State, I know that there are going to be lots of medical practitioners talking about doctors and the rest that will be there. But is there going to be an avenue for a spillover? Probably those that were not attended to on the 5th, they get to come back the next day.
Absolutely. What we'll do is this is not a one-off program, like I said. We have the window of people who maybe were shut out or who get crashing in the first or second program. What we'll do, we'll tell you, okay, our next locations are Nature South. So you come to meet us at the Nature South, then we give you that preference because you've been with us. So we'll just have to, because it's not going to be only, this particular one is Oshimili South. And being that this is the city of, seat of power, we just decided that we're going to give them that honor of flagging it off in Oshimili South local government area, where the Asagba of Asaba is expected to be the father of the day on that 5th of March. So it's a continuous exercise. It's going to span, if you look at the banner that was designed, it's going to span from March to February 2027.
So March this year
March
to
to February.
That's almost a year.
So usually, yes, because even if you do, we have 25 local governments in Delta State. Even if you do one per month, you will still cover. So the way it's going to be, some local governments will have two. We have to merge, like maybe go to local government that have Isoko North, Isoko South. We'll merge it to one. That is the only way we can achieve our aim.
That's true.
Now, Anocha North, Anocha South might be merged, and then when we merge them, we might now increase the days. If it's going to be 2 days, it might not be 4 or 5 days or 3 days. That is how, because that, if not, we won't be able to cover up this whole program.
Well, there's been a bordering issue in the society at this point. I like the fact that your office is doing well to attend to grassroots health care, not just those at the upper echelon. But at this point, there are people in thick rural areas that believe that, healthcare facilities or healthcare should be made accessible to, let's say, the male folk first before the female folk. So what is your take on it, talking about, this gender-based discrimination? Because whether we like it or not, it is still part of our society, and it is something that, we've been fighting hard to eradicate over a period of time. You go to probably different health centers, and let's say a woman comes before a man, but the man will tell you, I'm the man. You get my point? So what do you have to say about that? Because most times women are shut down, and it's a lot, Dr. Alex.
This issue of, I'm just hearing for the first time, because
based on gender.
I feel that even when we have medical outreaches, if you have 100 of them, 80 are women. Then, because men don't even come out. Men will say, I'm strong, and that's what they do.
They say they sound strong.
Yeah, that's from experience. They will tell you, I'm strong. But you see women, even if they are okay, they will still come out to be checked and take all the medication, take all their children, from experience. So the issue of women, we don't even, the way we even work, whenever you see me in outreaches, even if you know me, I just give you that professional look, because I don't want a situation where the people will lose credibility, they will lose, that this guy is not of this integrity issue. When you come, what we do is that before the program, we'll give out venue for registration. We even announce this one, and people will go and register. We pay someone that will sit down there and register. So if we have like 400 patients who are registered, on that day, we will start with number 1, number 2, number 3. Everybody have their numbers there. So when you go there, you see your name. Somebody will cross-check with card. This is your name. This is your name. So with that, I don't think anybody will come and say, I'm a man. If you're a man, you feel you're a man, you come and register first. So we don't even look at those ones. It's your number. And we don't transfer numbers. Because this is my number, I transfer it to somebody else. We don't do that.
All right, let's look at the training pipeline now in the grassroots. That's about the rural area. Is that a formal program to recruit or to train homegrown talents from, rural areas? Is that because people will tell you that, in these these clinics, these
hospital.
No, not really healthcare, that they don't have trained, staffs, trained nurses to
Doctors.
handle whatever issue. They have to take them to the big cities. Now, is there a program time like that?
You know the issue that not even only Delta State, we've had this issue of brain drain and doctors migrating out of the country for greener and yellower pastures and the rest. So most of these things have actually made some of our hospitals depleted of doctors and health workers.
Yes.
Here in the every day you hear of doctors moving out. So this actually has affected the workforce in Delta State. But His Excellency also has actually graciously approved that, this immediate replacement of doctors whenever they don't doctors recruitment in the states now doesn't follow normal civil service recruitment. When
It's different.
It's different. When there's a shortage of manpower, maybe as a result of migration, the hospitals can, with the help with the hospital management, conduct an emergency interview and recruit doctors. They do that regularly. I know that they do that. So these are just ways of mitigating that gap. Then again, I want to also tell you that the primary health care centers, but I always say this, and that's why most of my programs are actually at primary health centers. The people you see there, those nurses, at most nurses, community health extension workers, they are trained continuously. As we speak, there's this vaccination going on, this measles, rubella, these are people who have been trained. They come to Asaba here on regular basis, Ministry of Health. When there's any advancement or any information, they bring them on. They also, remember, we also have the Delta State Primary Health Development Agency. Dr. Yinkore, who is the director there, is doing a lot and doing a very fantastic job there. He's always having these people come always from these rural areas and educating them, giving them the necessary tips and all the guidelines on how to identify all these rare and diseases. Immediately they see all these things, they report straight to the epidemiology center in the Ministry of Health, and they take it off from there. So these people, they are they are competent, because I know the kind of training and the level of training that they receive. That is why most of the time we also tell our patients, our rural patients, that instead of patronizing all these traditional health healers and all those native doctors, they will say, this nurse, not be the nurse who will know for backyard there. They will just leave them.
Well, I was coming to that. I was coming to that.
Yes, we advise them.
Because many people in rural areas, they are of the opinion that the local herbs work better than even the English drugs, and there's nothing you would say that would even make them to take as common as a painkiller. So what is your office, since it's centered on grassroots, those in villages, what is your office doing to convince those people that in as much as we are not saying herbs are bad, do you get, but then it is very, very important that you also tilt towards the other side of taking like English drugs, because most people, when you bring something as common as Panadol close to them, they've seen you like an enemy or someone that doesn't mean well for them.
The thing is this, ignorance, you cannot take it away from some persons.
Yes.
I remember when one patient came to me that he had I think toothache one day, that he now went to drink acid.
What?
Yes.
Sorry, acid?
Acid, yes. That he went to buy the acid. That they told him that when he put the acid, the tooth will get. I'm telling you, the patient
drank acid.
poured the hand and burned it in the mouth. And we left over treating, I started treating another one. Another patient has come also wondered that she has been drinking urine. That they told her that early morning urine has a way of reducing blood pressure and sugar. Many myths. So you see what we are talking about. We go as so far as telling our patients. Whenever we go for outreaches, we spend at least minutes, even hours, educating these people. We tell them the dangers. Sometimes we get reports of, the other day, even my security man came out. He went to a chemist and they injected him, and he couldn't work for like 2 weeks. He can be chemist man, many things. So this issue of ignorance is something that is endemic in our black skin. I don't think it's only comes to Nigeria, but we try our best to still give them the information. We educate them. We also have flyers. Now we have phones. We also use this social media to tell them one or two things. Pidgin English. You can see the Ministry of Health is doing a fantastic job on that area. They are doing very well. So these are ways of giving them this information, telling them the dangers on self-medication, dangers on trying to visit this herbalist. Because most of these herbalists, there's no, if you take yourself and go to herbalist, he will tell you something. There's no day, there's nothing, you can't just go to a herbalist and he does not see anything to tell you. How will he eat? How will he feed? He must say something. Yeah, how will he survive? So that is what we always tell our people, that they should be careful, because when they finish and scatter these patients, at the tail end, when the patient is almost about to go, they will now tell the patient to come to the hospital. But women go to traditional bed delivery center. They will be in labor for 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, the woman will be in labor. When they now see that they cannot do anything again, they will refer to FMC. We have seen a lot of them like that.
So quickly, before we round off, because time is not our friend, today is the International Day for Social Justice. And I don't know when next we are going to see you, Dr. Alex, because of your busy schedule. Yeah, always. And then to them later in the month of March, where they are going to do the Chef Mepard program. In that month, I think March 8, around that time, is the International Women's Day. So I want to ask now, at this point, as the EA, how does the government plan on addressing these healthcare disparities and the problem of GBV in the society? Because it is one problem that last year, I think between September to November, it was almost a daily thing we were talking about right here on set. So what do you think are, the activities or the efforts of the government to address these problems in the society?
About the women...
the healthcare disparities and then place side by side the gender-based violence in the society.
Well, you are saying international. Well, you are not being sentimental, because you're talking about women.
Today is social justice, and I also made mention of social justice covering both genders.
I know that the state itself, we have the Ministry of Women Affairs, yes, and they have programs rolled out for women. We don't even have Ministry of Men Affairs, so it's a disparity. So maybe men will start agitating for Ministry of Men Affairs.
I know you're capable. You can do that.
Everything that they do in Ministry of Women Affairs is geared towards women. And I know they also have this grassroots, like you see this it's only in Delta State to have widow scheme. They don't have widower scheme. You see, we need to advocate for this widow scheme. And they pay them thousands of widows. They pay them, but that's on a lighter note as well. But I think that this issue of gender in the health sector, where I am, we don't have anything like that there. But in the general perspective and society, I also feel that the women also have to also step up. Because they also have to step up. Because I also said this thing. They will tell you. I think Machiavelli will say that power is not. Nobody gives you power freely. You have to struggle. There's nowhere in the world where somebody will say, "I surrender power to you."
You have to fight for it.
You have to fight for it. We have had dogged women in this state who have actually sat amongst men and did what men could not do. Likes of Joanne Marakbo. We all know her, how she sanitized and did the things like that. So these are women. So when a woman sits back at home and feels that everything I should get must be a man has to provide heaven and earth for me. A man is my savior, my trophy. This is how it starts. They should be able to also rally among themselves and see how they can, measure up. I'm not saying exactly. Measure up does not mean competition. It doesn't mean competition. It means positioning yourself in areas where you will become relevant. That is just what it is. And I was in a meeting the other day, and when I got to the meeting, there was a position. I wouldn't want to call name for security. There was a program that they had said they should nominate people for a particular committee. There was no woman in the committee. I felt a little bit, not okay. I had to stand that the woman should be member. At least I see women being members of committee as being transparent. That transparency has to be in it. But at the end, I even found out that it's even the women there that were even opposing me, that the woman should not be. I got tired of myself. I did not say I was even expecting that they would stand with me. Some of them were even no, this woman. So it became a little bit complex, and I had to keep quiet. So that's why I say the women also have to support themselves. I'm not saying being fighting men will make, because when you fight, the men will suppress you the more. But when you position yourself, even the men will talk and agitate for you.
Yes.
That is how it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, time
Thank
is
you so
not our
much.
friend. Lilibeth, your last words before we draw the curtain. Well, I trust you enjoyed that interview segment with the Executive Assistant to the Governor on Health Monitoring, Dr. Alexander Auno, on universal health coverage, focusing on those at the grassroots level. Well, it's at this point that we'll draw the curtains on today's edition of Morning Ride. From my co-anchor Lilibeth.
Thank you so much for riding with us this beautiful Friday. Enjoy the weekend, but remember, there is more to your life than the challenges of the past. So don't let anything that happens make you feel insecure.
And from me, I would say take it one step at a time, one day at a time. You've never been in this world before, and of course, we are not auditioning for it. It's our first time here on earth. So no matter the amount of mistakes we make, take it easy on yourself. This is a learning ground for every one of us. And from all of us right here in the studio, we say have a beautiful Friday ahead. Morning Ride returns Monday morning, 7 a.m. bright and early. My name is Petua Iboba. Morning and goodbye.